activate.
This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
Which brings us to the third point. Understand and believe that you are a person of destiny. John 18, verses 7 and 9. Jesus asks them again, who are you seeking? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. And he said, I told you, I'm he. And so if you're seeking me, let these men go. He had a plan. He had a plan. He knew what was going to happen. He knew that he was a person of destiny. He knew what was going on. He knew that there was something to be accomplished, and it didn't affect these guys in the sense that they were going to lose their lives. It wasn't about them losing their lives. He knew he was going to lose his life. He had something to accomplish. He was going to pay for the sins of the world. He was a person of destiny. Let me remind you something that's so important for you to really, really embrace. You are a person of destiny. God designed you, the individual that you are, for it with a purpose and a plan that he has not designed for anybody else in the world. Nobody else has all of that rolled up into one body like you. You are that one individual, one of a kind. You know, we have our little 7-month-old grandson with us for a few days, and I was holding him last night, and I was just thinking about this very thing, that I'm holding in my hands a child that is a child of destiny. A destiny that I don't even understand at this point, but I've already begun to see God at work. How do I know that? Because you see, Jackson is adopted. And I know Jackson's birth parents' situation. It was not a healthy situation for him. Nice people, but it just wasn't right. And God took him out of that situation and put him into the situation that he's in now for his purpose and his plan. Now, and the way God worked that out, the way he worked that miracle after miracle after miracle for Jordan and Jennifer to have that child is just amazing. It's just amazing how God did that. So I know in looking at little Jackson that I'm looking at a child of destiny. God has a purpose and a plan for his life. And every child that you see, you're looking at a child of destiny. And the person that you see in the mirror is also that person, a child of destiny. God designed you with a destiny, with a plan. He has a purpose. He knows what he wants to accomplish. This is not a fatalistic point of view that everything's just going to happen the way it's going to happen, que sera, sera type thing. It's not a fatalistic point of view, but rather it's confidence in the future, that God has a future. That God is the God of the future. I deal with people all the time who just say, oh, God can't forgive me because of my past and so forth and so on. And I remind them over and over and over again, look, God isn't the God of the past. God isn't looking at your past and going, yeah, remember what you did back then? Remember that? You loser. Can you believe you did that? What a loser you are. God is not the God of the past. God is looking at the future. God says, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to not harm and to bless you. God is the God of the future. He has a destiny for your life. You haven't thwarted his destiny. No matter how badly you've screwed up, you have not thwarted his plan for your future. He knew hundreds, millions of years ago what you were going to do and what was going to happen in your life. He knew what was going to happen, and he still had a purpose and a plan for your life. Yesterday I sat with Bob Bruns, and we were planning Debbie's funeral. And I was just kind of getting a little background on Debbie's life. Boy, you talk about a life that was messed up. Debbie's was a life that was messed up. Debbie and Bob met, they were together 29 years. 22 of those years, by the way, she had MS. They were only together for 7 years without the MS, without the disease. And in that 7-year period, they both became alcoholics and got divorced. Now you talk about messing up your life. That's a messed up life right there. Not only one person is an alcoholic, but both are alcoholics. And Bob was dealing with some issues. He had been in Vietnam, and so he was obviously dealing with some issues that came from that, maybe some post-traumatic stress. I don't know. I'm not diagnosing him. I'm just saying there was a whole lot of things that were going on there. A whole lot of things that were just messed up. And God somehow or other worked a miracle, first in Debbie's life. Debbie came to know the Lord first. And then Bob came to know the Lord, and then they got back together again. But that was just something that God did. Why? Because he had a plan. Neither Bob nor Debbie messed up that plan beyond what God could fix, beyond what God could do. And Debbie went on to become one of the greatest prayer warriors that I've ever known in my life. Bob shared with me her prayer sheets, things that she prayed for. She would get up every morning, and the first thing she would do is she would go to the dining room table and sit there, spread out her prayer sheets, and pray every morning. She became an incredible, powerful force of prayer that not only changed your life, changed my life, changed our life. You've been prayed for by Debbie many, many times. And as I looked through those pages and pages and pages of her prayer sheets, I thought, Lord, you use this woman to pray for these people every day. This is amazing. How God could transform an alcoholic, drunk divorcee who had no purpose in life and restore her and change her life and turn her into a great minister of power, of prayer. That's only something that God can do. Understand and believe that you are a person of destiny. God is up to something in your life, and no matter how badly you've messed up, you haven't messed up beyond what God wants to accomplish. If God can plan your days, He can accomplish them. Psalm 139, verse 15 and 16 says this, "My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth." In other words, before I was born. That I was not hidden. You didn't know. You knew about me then. I wasn't a surprise to you, God. You knew about me, and I was intricately woven. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In other words, God, you knew me. You saw me. You envisioned me. You realize God envisioned you before you ever existed? He knew you. He designed you. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me. Every day that was formed for me was written down, when as yet there was none of them. Listen, if God can plan your days before you even existed, because He has such a plan for your life, and then make those days come true, don't you think He can fulfill His destiny and His plan for you?
On behalf of Dan Hurst and the Open Class, we want to thank you for watching. We hope it was a blessing.